Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Chapter name, Chapter 7, Structural Organization in Animals. Unicellular organisms, all functions are performed by a single cell, such as digestion, respiration, reproduction, and further on. Multicellular organisms, same basic functions are carried out by different group of cells in a well-organized manner. Hydra, which is cellular and lives in fresh water, is made up of different type of cells, and the number of cells in each type can be in thousands, which means Hydra is a multicellular organism. Human body is composed of billions of cells, which again means that human body and human organism is a multicellular organism or an animal. Further on, moving ahead, what is a tissue? A group of similar cells along with intercellular substances, which means a group of cells along with intercellular substances is called tissue, and the similar cells must be performing a specific function. Okay. Further on, all complex animals consist of only 4 basic type of tissues, which includes epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. It was included in previous NCERTs, now it is not. So further on, moving ahead, these tissues are organized in specific proportion and pattern. Important to form what? To form an organ. Cells organized to form tissues, and tissues organized to form organs, and organ gets organized into organ systems. Okay, this is what is written here. When 2 or more organs perform a common function, remember common function, by their what interaction is important, by their physical and chemical interaction, they form an organ system. Hope you all get it. Cells, tissues, organs, and organ system split up work, which is very important, exhibit division of labor, they perform functions separately. Moving ahead, organ and organ system. Why is organ system essential? Organ system is essential for more efficient and better coordinated activities of millions of cells in an organism. Going ahead, each organ in our body is made up of 1 or more type of tissues, which we already have read. For example, very important, heart is made up of 4 type of tissues, which is the epithelial, connective, muscular, and neural, which I already told you all. Further moving on, complexity in organ and organ system displays certain discernible trend, and this trend is called evolutionary trend. It's very important. Remember everyone, NCERT ये line पूछ सकता है, and NEET can ask this question, NTA can ask this question, what type of trend is followed by organ and organ systems. So it is basically a discernible trend, and this trend is called as evolutionary trend. Moving ahead, there is a definition of morphology and anatomy. Okay, so what is morphology? Refers to study of form of externally visible features in case of plants and microbes. Okay, in case of animals, morphology refers to external appearance of organs and parts of body. What? Remember again, I'll repeat it. In case of plants or microbes, morphology means external visible features, but in case of animals, this is external appearance of organs and parts of body. Moving ahead, anatomy conventionally means study of morphology of internal organs in the animals, which means morphology term out here is just described to confuse you all. Basically, it is a study of internal organs of animals. That's all. Okay, study of internal organs of animals is called anatomy. That's all. Moving ahead, a very important topic of this chapter, frog, from which 4 questions were asked in NEET. Without further delay, frogs are basically carnivores, and frogs can live both on land and in freshwater, which means they are amphibians. Belongs to class Amphibia and phylum Chordata, which you must already have read in chapter number 4, Animal Kingdom. We'll go through it again. Phylum Chordata, under the class Amphibia. Okay, remember it. And they can live both on land and freshwater, which means they're amphibians. Can be asked as assertion reason. The most common species of frog in India is Rana tigrina, which in other terms is also called as Indian bullfrog. Chapter के summary में लिखा हुआ इसलिए बोल रहे हैं यहाँ पे. Rana tigrina, Indian bullfrog, and is the most common species of frog found in India. Moving ahead, another assertion reason, they do not have constant body temperature, which means their body temperature varies with the temperature of the environment. Remember, body temperature is not constant, which means they are cold-blooded or poikilotherms. This is an assertion reason question. Again, moving ahead. Now it's about the color of frogs. So basically, frogs change the color in grasses and on dry land. Remember, where? In grasses and on dry land. They have the ability to change the color to hide them from the enemies, and this property is called as camouflage, and this protective coloration is called mimicry. Okay, remember, frogs change the color in grasses on dry land. Why? To hide them from enemies, which basically means camouflage, and this protective coloration is called mimicry. Frogs are not seen during peak summer and winter because they take shelter in deep burrows to protect them from extreme heat and cold, and this is called as summer sleep and winter sleep. Summer sleep in other terms is called as estivation, and winter sleep is called hibernation. Remember, frogs are not seen in peak summer and winter because they sleep. And why do they sleep? Why do they sleep? Actually, to take shelter, to protect them from extreme heat and cold. Further on, moving ahead with the morphology of frogs, very, very, very important. So the skin of frogs, okay, the skin of frog is first of all smooth and slippery. Why? Because of the presence of mucus. The skin is always moist. Okay, now before moving ahead, in the summary of this chapter, it is mentioned that the skin is moist because of the presence of mucus gland. Remember, it is very important. Mucus is present because of the presence of mucus in the skin of frog. I'll go through the summary, we'll all go through the summary, but यहाँ पे पढ़ा दिया मैंने because it is important. Moving ahead, the color of dorsal side of body is generally olive green with dark irregular spots. Ventral side का जो skin होता है is uniformly pale yellow. Okay, बिफोर मूविंग अहेड वी विल गो थ्रू इट अगेन. जो डॉर्सल साइड है, पीछे का साइड है, राइट, यानी हमारा जो पीछे का साइड होता है विच इज द बैकबोन वाला साइड इज द एग्जैक्ट सेम साइड यहाँ पे. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज इनका जो डॉर्सल साइड है इज जनरली, नॉट ऑलवेज, जनरली ओलिव ग्रीन एंड डार्क होता है, इरेगुलर स्पॉट्स होते हैं. डार्क एंड इरेगुलर स्पॉट्स इज प्रीटी मच विजिबल, रिमेंबर. सॉरी, moving ahead, the ventral side, see the ventral side नीचे हमारा पेट का side, हमारा stomach side is the ventral side. For frogs it is the belly, right? So again the frog's ventral side is pale yellowish color, pale yellowish, and it is uniform. Remember, it is what? It is uniform. It is uniform. Dorsal is irregular spots, but ventral is uniform. Moving ahead. The frog never drinks water. Remember, frog never drinks water, although they live in water and on land, but still they never drink water because they absorb it through their skin. Frogs never drink water because they absorb it through their skin. Moving ahead. Body of a frog is divisible into head and trunk. A neck and a tail are absent, which means the body of a frog is divisible into a head and a trunk. Neck and tail are absent. Remember, neck and tail are absent. Above the mouth, a pair of nostrils are present. Above the mouth, okay, mouth के ऊपर there is a pair of nostrils. Remember, याद रखना, above mouth there is a pair of nostrils. Eyes are bulged and covered by a nictitating membrane that protects them while in water. On either side of eyes, a membranous tympanum ear receives sound signals. So before moving ahead, let's discuss about eye and things that are located nearby eyes. So I'll just enlarge it for you all. So let's cover first. हमने क्या पढ़ा? Mouth. Mouth के just ऊपर ही present होता है a pair of nostrils. कितना? Above mouth, a pair of nostrils. Only one pair of nostrils. Coming to the eye part, eye is covered by a nictitating membrane to protect it obviously from water. आई कैसी होती है? बल्ज्ड होती है. आई कितनी होती है? वन पेयर होती है. आई एक यूनिट होती है. एंड आई ऑफ फ्रॉग्स आर सिंपल आईज. दे आर नॉट कंपाउंड. रिमेंबर once again, eye of frogs are simple eyes. They are bulged, one pair and one unit. These points are not out of NCERT. These points are from NCERT. ये सारे के सारे अभी आगे हम पढ़ेंगे in the anatomy part. Okay. So हमने पढ़ा कि on either side of eyes a membranous tympanum ear receives sound signals, which means eye के दोनों sides, इधर भी आंख है, इधर भी आंख है, तो eye के दोनों sides is present what? An ear, right? So covering the ear part I have completely written it. जितना भी NCERT में लिखा है यहाँ पे मैंने लिख दिया in just singular point. Ears. In frogs there are no external ears. Very important. हमारे में external ears भी ना present होता है, but in frogs no external ears. Sorry, no external ears are present. Only internal ears are present, and जो कि क्या होती है? Membranous tympanum, जो कि यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है membranous tympanum ear is the internal ear, okay, which is visible. Ears are present on either side of eye, जो कि यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है. Very well. अब ये क्या करती है? Helps in hearing and balancing equilibrium, जो कि हमने अभी यहाँ पे पढ़ा कि receives sound signal, जो कि हमारे hearing में काम करती है, but साथ साथ में ears also play a role in balancing, which is the equilibrium part, जो कि हमारे humans में भी करता है. It's very important. Ears play the role of hearing and balancing equilibrium in pretty much all the vertebrates. But हमको vertebrates में नहीं जाना, हमको सिर्फ यह याद रखना है कि NCERT में ears frog में क्या रखा है? Hearing and balancing and equilibrium. That's further on moving. फोरलिम्ब और हाइंड लिम्ब. अब हमको पता है फोरलिम्ब और हाइंड लिम्ब जो फ्रॉग्स के होते हैं वो हेल्प करते हैं स्विमिंग, वॉकिंग, लीपिंग और बरोइंग में. बिकॉज जो फ्रॉग्स होते हैं वो कूदते हैं एंड बाकी सारे पानी का काम करते हैं. सो दे डू स्विमिंग, वॉकिंग, लीपिंग एंड बरोइंग. अब आते हैं हाइंड लिम्ब एंड फोरलिम्ब्स. तो जो हाइंड लिम्ब होता है फ्रॉग्स का, इट कंसिस्ट ऑफ 5 डिजिट्स, वेयर जो फोरलिम्ब्स होते हैं वो कंसिस्ट ऑफ 4 डिजिट्स. याद रखना, फोरलिम्ब कंसिस्ट ऑफ 4 डिजिट्स. इट्स अ ट्रिक, ठीक है. अब हाइंड लिम्ब और फोरलिम्ब के बीच में देयर इज वन मोर डिफरेंस. हाइंड लिम्ब इज लार्जर एंड मस्कुलर, जो कि डायग्राम में इज आल्सो विजिबल, यहाँ पे दिख सकता है. So the two major differences in between hind limb and forelimb is कि जो hind limb होती है वो large होती है, बड़ी दिख रही है, and it is muscular, right? Whereas the forelimb is little less muscular and it is shorter. Once again, forelimb consists of feet which has 4 digits. Hind limb consists of feet which has 5 digits. Moving ahead, feet have webbed digits which help in swimming. It can be asked as an accession reason question that why are feet having webbed digits? Because they help in swimming. Now you might ask कि feet किस चीज़ को बोल रहा है? Okay, so जो hind limb होते हैं और forelimbs होते हैं उनके जो last part होते हैं, last वाले end होते हैं, called as feet. So जो feet होती है उनकी जो digits आती हैं are connected, which have webbed digits. Okay, so जो feet होती है have webbed digits which help in swimming. Last point of morphology is frogs exhibit sexual dimorphism, which means males and females are separate. Males can be separated from females frogs, which means can be distinguished from female frogs on the basis of two things. First is the vocal sacs and the second is the copulatory pods. Two very important points: vocal sacs and the copulatory pods. We already have discussed that copulatory pod is present on the first digit of the forelimbs. Now, forelimbs consist of 4 digits. The first digit is the copulatory pad in males, which acts as a distinguishing factor in between males and females. And the hind limb consists of 5 digits, which is larger and साथ में muscular as well. अब यहाँ पे आता है वोकल सैक्स. से भी कंफ्यूज हो सकते हैं बच्चे कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन वोकल सैक्स एंड देन देयर इज अनदर थिंग कॉल्ड एज वोकल कॉर्ड्स. तो ये चीज याद रखना कि मेल्स में जो होता है वोकल सैक्स एक्स्ट्रा प्रेजेंट होता है. वोकल कॉर्ड्स जो होते हैं वो मेल फीमेल दोनों में प्रेजेंट होते हैं. आई हैव सेपरेट नोट अबाउट इट, लेट मी जस्ट शो यू ऑल. ओके, सो हियर इट गोस. ह्यूमन वोकल कॉर्ड्स होते हैं वो इंटरनल होते हैं. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्योंकि जो वोकल कॉर्ड्स होते हैं वो हमेशा इंटरनल होते हैं. मेल और फीमेल दोनों में प्रेजेंट होते हैं. फ्रॉग का वोकल कॉर्ड्स इज एक्जैक्टली सेम, इंटरनल, क्योंकि कॉर्ड्स हमेशा इंटरनल होते हैं एंड वो मेल्स और फीमेल्स दोनों में प्रेजेंट होते हैं. जो वोकल सैक अभी हमने पढ़ा व्हिच एक्ट्स एज अ डिस्टिंग्विशिंग फैक्टर इन फ्रॉग्स का मेल्स में ही प्रेजेंट होता है. ओनली सैक इज आल्सो प्रेजेंट इन मेल्स एंड व्हिच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि एक्सटर्नल मेम्ब्रेनस सैक होता है. नहीं याद करना कोई दिक्कत नहीं, बट दिस इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट वोकल सैक्स आर ओनली प्रेजेंट इन मेल्स ओनली. और इसका काम क्या होता है? इट एम्पलीफाइज वॉइसेस प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय वोकल कॉर्ड्स. यानी वोकल कॉर्ड्स वॉइस प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है बट मेल्स में जो वॉइसेस होते हैं वो ज्यादा एम्पलीफाइड हो जाती हैं बिकॉज़ ऑफ द प्रेजेंस ऑफ वोकल सैक्स. दैट्स ऑल. थैंक यू.